everybody, I am Kid Cadet, and I am joined here in Pasadena with Nita and Mick Foley. I mean, we might think this is maybe a motley crew of sorts, but let's just get right into this. How do you two know each other?
We met at the Pensacola Comic-Con, but 2 years ago?
Gosh, it was, yeah.
2 years ago, and Heather is a veteran of the Comic-Cons. You know, sometimes the line is rocking, sometimes it's not. In almost any other scenario, you prefer the line be rocking. But that day, those 2 days, it wasn't. And so it gave Nita and her boyfriend Josh a chance to come over to my table. And after talking to them a little bit, I was like, I like these people, you know. And I came over and I was like, Alice Cooper, like, you have to be good. I'd always heard that Alice Cooper only had the best of the best. And so we were talking, and Nita gave me, she sent over a link to her single Pandemonium, and then asked me the next day what I thought it was about. And I gave you like a scenario. Well, I think it was this, and there was a journey, and there was like a healing, and there was like from Pandemonium, like there was a hectic thing, and then she explained it to me, and she thought I did a pretty good interpretation. And then I did something, because you've been around. I'm the guy who was back to his room. You know, I'm really good, I think, at the table. Then I go back to my room. I watch TV, I read, or whatever. But in this case, I was like, do you guys want to go out to eat? And it was going to be me, Nita, Josh, Exotic, Adrian Street, and Miss Linda. And then Linda and Adrian, they kind of, they couldn't make it. And it was like we sat down for sushi in Pensacola, and it was like 3 hours went by.
How is Pensacola sushi?
It's good. Yeah, I know
really
the guy
good.
who has
Right
it.
on the water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I was like, almost like a Dale Doback, Brennan Huff. Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
And then we did karate in the garage. Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to see that sometime.
Oh, totally.
And so, Nita, you had the opportunity to play at Wrestlemania.
Yes.
Gosh, what was that feeling like? I mean, first of all, you looked so amazing up there with like the wind blowing in your hair and just,
Can I tell a little story
Please.
about Jill Thompson, who's done a couple of my, and I swear I'm going to let you talk about your own experience here.
Fine.
But I just told this to Nita, and she liked it, because the first show of this tour was in Rosemont, Illinois. So Jill Thompson, who not only did two of my children's books, but did that really iconic CM Punk illustration T-shirt. She went out to eat with me and my daughter afterwards, and we were talking about WrestleMania. And I said, what did you like? And she was like, I love that Nakamura entrance. I knew she didn't know that I even knew Nita. I was like, what did you like about it? She's like, well, like that rock and roll girl with the shoulders. Yeah. And she just went on and on about how awesome it was.
The girl with the shoulder, yeah. There you go.
And I'll let Nita take over here, but the killer, I'm going to kill her in a negative way, as in it was killing me, is that I couldn't be there. I really wanted to be there just to see. I always thrive on reactions, and I wanted to see the reactions of the guys and the women in WWE as they realize what they're about to see, as I knew it was going to be special. And so I was kind of living vicariously through my son Dewey, who's on the creative team, and he's sending me texts. He's like, Dad, this is going to steal the show. Like, this is, he goes, I've got goosebumps. I think he even dropped an F-bomb in there. And it's like, this is exactly what an entrance should be. And so it was amazing. And I'll let Nita take over from there.
Yes, please.
It was totally surreal, getting to being a newer wrestling fan. You never really imagine, especially as a non-wrestler, you're going to have a WrestleMania moment. The WrestleMania moment is so legendary in the pro wrestling circle, and as a fan, you don't really think like, I'm going to be, unless you go to wrestling school and you learn how to wrestle, you don't think you're going to have that moment. So for me to get to be up there, to bring in the match I was most looking forward to seeing, Nakamura and AJ Styles, that was, it was really an incredible experience.
Well, let me ask you, do you prefer, and I'll ask you both, do you prefer Nakamura right now as the bad guy, or do you like him as like...
Ball punch Nakamura?
Yeah,
no,
that's what I was going to say.
No, how many low blows can you do?
Apparently
Somebody said to me on, I do all my own social media, somebody said to me, you're lucky that Nakamura didn't give you a low blow. I said, I don't think they do those to girls.
Can you tell the story? This is really funny about you thanking Nakamura. This
yes.
is really great. And a couple of the insights, if it's not explaining too much because this is stuff that I ate up as a fan. I'm still a fan, and you were telling me about the interaction between you and Nakamura, starting from you thanking him.
Yeah, so a lot of people said, afterward I did a lot of interviews, and they said, so why did Shinsuke Nakamura choose you? And the funny answer to that is, I met Shinsuke on stage when we did sound check for his song, and I said to him, just hat in hand, so gratefully, I said, thank you so much for this opportunity to play your music. I'm really honored. He said, well, you're welcome, but actually I didn't know that this was happening until just now.
Really?
So you don't really have to thank me. He was so gracious about it, but said, actually I didn't know, so you don't have to thank me for anything. So it was, it was the combination of the brilliant creative strategist mind of Josh, who's my boyfriend and my manager, and several other people behind the scenes as well. That made it happen.
And tonight, what brings us all here together in Pasadena is you're going to be playing...
Right here in Pasadena.
Pasadena, California.
That's right. Did I say Florida? Or what did I say California?
No,
I don't, where am I?
California.
Okay, great. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So tonight you're going to be playing...
I'm going to be playing a little... So I'm going to be playing one of the most iconic songs I think we can all
Do you want to
agree.
hear why this is historic?
Please.
Because
Oh my God.
Heather's been on the road hosting the shows for the past couple of days, and part of my show is based on the fact that I never had an entrance. I never had any kind of special effects, no dry ice. I even say, even Gilbert got a sparkler. And here I am, this is the coolest thing. I was actually, when you guys shared the great news about WrestleMania, I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Are you still going to be doing my show in front of 180 people?
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
I appreciate it. It's really special to me. This is by far the coolest entrance I've ever had, and it is, to me, it feels like WrestleMania. I've got friends coming from all across the entertainment spectrum,
Yep.
every facet of it, and I'm just thrilled. I'm so happy that I did poorly at that convention in Pensacola, because if I'd been doing well, I wouldn't have had a chance to get up. I couldn't have asked Virginia Madsen about Sideways, right? She was sitting right next to you, right?
Yeah.
And it was funny because, of all things, Virginia Madsen had been married or engaged or had a child with Antonio Sabato Jr., so that was who my wife swapped with on Wife Swap. So although Virginia was not on the show by choice, she did get to meet my wife, and so it was like it was a small world, but I was really thankful. He's strange. You meet a lot of people, you don't make a lot of real friends, and I feel like Nita and Josh are real friends. She didn't bail on me after rocking 75,000. You had to have thought about it though.
No, never.
Momentarily?
Never once.
Never
once
Josh?
did it cross my mind.
No?
No.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
and if it had crossed my mind, he wouldn't have let me. But I'll tell you my favorite story about that Pensacola is the next day after we had all had dinner, Josh, I'm going to embarrass Josh for a second and tell you guys what a big Cactus Jack and Mick Foley fan in general he is. And so I tried to sneak over to Mick's table and I said, hey, I want to buy a Sacco from you for Josh. And he said, yeah, but you're not buying it. You're not paying me for it. I'd like to give you one. I'd like to give you one. And I said, no. And by the way, here comes Jake the Snake Roberts, kind of like ambling over. What's going on over here? And the door wasn't really open yet. I said, look, Mick, I just want to buy you, what is it, $10? He goes, no, I will not take it. And one of the staff photographers has this picture of me trying to give Mick the money, Mick refusing to take it, and Jake in the back looking horrified, like, what do you mean you won't take the $10?
I wouldn't take it. I couldn't on principle.
And Mick insisted, he said, if you insist on spending $10, please donate it to a charity of your choice. And I did.
Well, I know that they're knocking on the door for you, but let's segue into that by saying that tonight the proceeds that you're doing for the Mr. Saccos and the photos are going to...
Wings for Rescue.
Wings for Rescue,
because I was really appreciative of the fact that Nita was coming here and working for free, right?
Yeah, free.
And so I said, do you have an organization you work with? And then she sent me some photos of her in action, on a rescue. Wings for Rescue. I did a little research. It's like an amazing group. How many animals have they saved?
Oh gosh, I don't know the total number. I know the flight that I went on the last time, we saved 120 dogs and cats. So what they do is they take dogs and cats from high kill shelters, downtown LA, or the puppy mills and hoarding situations, and they put them on privately owned planes. They're not the G4s, they're not the Gulfstream, they're the small privately owned planes and volunteer pilots. Most of whom are vets, and
Hold on. While you talk.
Go ahead.
so most of them are veterans, and so they take those and they take their planes, and they donate their plane and their time and their fuel, and they take the animals to safety.
That's so awesome.
It's
That's so
amazing.
incredible.
It's an amazing cause.
Are you good?
No, I'm good. Sorry.
Got to go sign some stuff and
No, it's my
shake some
manager.
babies and kiss some hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got the manager. But how did you get involved with that particular charity?
You know, I got involved through Lorraine Lewis, who's the singer of a band I played in called Femme Fatale, who,
Oh,
if you
cool.
guys remember, you must remember Femme Fatale.
I do.
Super, gorgeous powerhouse singer. She was like the original 80s rock star woman, just a badass, powerful female. And she has this huge heart, Lorraine. Like, she has a huge voice and she has a huge heart. And so she's the one that got me involved with this charity when I was playing with her in Femme Fatale. And I'm really, really grateful that she did.
That is so awesome.
And then tomorrow, I'll be part of the PWS.
PCW.
Sorry.
PCW Ultra.
And we were going to keep it a secret, and Nita was going to play me out. And then, fortunately, the Ice House here sold out. All 180 tickets gone.
That's
and,
awesome.
and so we were able to announce it, and that gave us the opportunity to do it as a fundraiser. So that tomorrow we're going to do photos, signed photos and photo ops, and I think we'll turn out, raise some money and some awareness, which is often just as important. Before we go, may I just say, I like to think that the article I wrote, 10 Reasons Why Nita Strauss is the Coolest Person in the World, I like to think it got somebody's attention,
It certainly got mine. But yes, I couldn't appreciate it more, Mick, coming to the Alice Cooper show and your kind words. I think someone of your stature, it really makes all the difference.
I did send it to Mr. McMahon, and I didn't hear anything from him, but that doesn't mean that he didn't read it. And but I'm just happy. I'm so happy. When you and Josh gave me the news, it made me feel good because I got all giddy and happy, and I don't think I stand to gain in any way except spiritually. And I was like, I just was so happy, and I sent out this vague tweet like, sometimes it's just good to feel happy about someone. And so I'm thrilled. It couldn't happen to a nicer person. And your Kickstarter is just amazing. $20,000 goal, and they hit it within
2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours.
And
we hit our
then,
30-day goal in 2 hours.
30-day goal in 2 hours, and topped out with 133,000.
150 as of today.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we've got 16 hours left, and we just hit 150. Yeah.
So, wow. That's so incredible.
And you know what? That just goes to show you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, please.
I think that just goes to show you people. Someone famously recently said that rock and roll is dead, and that people don't want to pay for music anymore. And I pay for Spotify, and I pay for YouTube Red, and I pay for SiriusXM. But if I was given the opportunity to help fund an album like that, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I think that my crowdfunding effort proves that people are willing to spend money, and people still care about new music.
It's still alive.
Yeah.
And you're keeping it going.
Yeah, somebody's got to make the music for it to happen.
And I was curious if your Kickstarter ended on May the 4th because you are a Star Wars fan.
Big time. I've got the Star Wars tattoo.
Let's see it.
To prove it.
Yep. Yeah. I see it. I got a couple of my own too.
Yeah. This is my one and only tattoo, and
That's
it's a Star
it.
Wars tattoo. Yeah.
Oh, man. I was actually going to get a Sacco tattoo today.
That's amazing.
So if you want to, we can go get Sacco tattoos.
Go get matching Sacco
that
tattoos.
That could
There
be
you
your
go.
tattoo. What do you think?
I'm just looking at Ric Flair tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of odd things going
Where's
on
the
there.
Ric Flair tattoo?
The Ric Flair tattoos. Yeah,
Oh my
he's
gosh.
over there. It's a very eclectic bunch of just memories in my
That's
life.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. And now I'm
I'm a
looking more
collector.
carefully.
Oh, gosh.
I bet you, Nita,
I see an avocado.
Yes.
we are going to surprise you at a certain point during the show.
What?
We are, yeah. Heather and I are going to surprise you. You're going to be surprised musically.
I'm so
by
excited.
us, yeah.
I'm excited
Wow.
too. It's one of my favorite
Yeah,
moments that I
I
get.
thought that my part was going to be over after the first minute.
Well, your part is only if you don't approve of it, pretend you approve, because we
I
look
will.
over you and you're not impressed
I'll
with
just be
me.
yawning.
Yeah.
I'll no sell it.
Is this your first time seeing his show?
It is.
So what do you expect from the 20 years since Hell in a Cell?
Well, as someone who was first a fan and then became a friend, I'm looking forward to hearing the answers from a fan perspective that you don't really want to ask a friend. Did it hurt when you fell off the cell? Like, I'm never going to ask you that question, but I'm interested to hear the answer tonight during the show.
I'll give you an answer.
Very good.
All right. I couldn't be happier for you. And one thing I'll just share with the fans here is that when you walked back, can you tell us? Because we call it marking out. I marked out big time for the reaction you got from one gentleman in particular.
From Mr. McMahon.
Oh my gosh.
So Vince was, I walked out, I was shaking. And there's 100 violinists and drummers and everybody all walking, and all I could see was Josh. And then past Josh, I saw Vince McMahon clapping, standing up and clapping. And I didn't know what to do. I was so overcome with emotion that I just gave him a hug. I just
You're a brave girl.
I don't mean that I gave him like a little. I was like I gave him like a hug.
Oh my God.
And he gave me such high compliments and was, and I didn't realize until much later on what a big deal that was. I mean, I was really flattered, but I didn't realize really what a big deal it is.
I shared the news with her that I believe in the entirety of my career, he stood when you came back from sound checking and during the show. I said, that's one more time than he stood for me during the entirety of my career. I've seen him watch a lot of great matches, and he's pretty stone-faced. And
what was the one time?
The one time, it was... after I gave a specific promo. It was a promo that I gave leading into the first ever women's cell match.
Oh.
And so he was standing there. But
cool.
Generally stone-faced. You go out there, you tear the house down, and you can't tell.
Right.
And you don't dare look over there. You just walk by. I said, if you're a guy, one of the wrestlers, don't ask him if it was okay. You walk by like you know it was good.
Yeah.
You know it was good. And so when I heard that he stood up and gave a hug, I thought it was well deserved, but in the back of my mind, I was like, "What about my hug?
Well, maybe in the future, maybe both of you guys will have another WrestleMania moment together. You never know.
At least I get an entrance.
I know the song now, so.
All right.
Never need me.
And we may do it another time on tour.
Cool.
So I can't wait. I cannot wait. So thank you so much for joining me. It's really very, very nice of you, very kind
Thank
of you.
you for having me.
And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Definitely.